let's get started without further ado. Esports Ohio, what are we? Most of you have known. You've been through our um, paperwork already. You've seen our website, esportsohio.org. If you haven't, you should. And if you've been to our website but haven't been to our Discord, you need to get to our Discord, because our Discord is where the community really happens. It's where all of us get together, and the people that are in the same boats as you get their questions answered by other people that are doing the exact same thing. So it's been beautiful over the last 2.5 years to see uh, the community kind of flourish with people who are bringing opportunities to kids ultimately. So our vision at Esports Ohio is to embrace competitive video games as a positive and educational change agent for students. We know that students game, that's what they do. So we're going to use that to create opportunities for those kids that might not normally get involved. And we'll talk about how a lot of our kids, this is the first time they've done anything extracurricular. So pretty excited about that. So the agenda for today is, what are we? What do we offer? And then I'm going to give some intros of some VIPs that are in chat today that are going to be with us, introduce some of our partners as well as some of the people behind the scenes that makes everything happen. And then how to ensure you're ready to compete here in a month. February 24th is the deadline for signups for the spring season. So we are in scramble mode on top of everything else. But a lot of us have been remote learning all year, so we are no stranger to scramble mode. Just trying to stay a day ahead of the kids like a first-year teacher all over again. So we get it. And then we're going to have time for you guys to ask anything and everything you want. I know Nick Rackley will be here with me, as well as some other community members and league committee members, to answer all your questions the best we can. And then if we don't get them all tonight, we'll get them tomorrow in the second meeting with Mahoning County Career ESC, and we'll go from there. So if you haven't registered for that, check that out. I blasted that on an email the other night as well, and I will post that in chat for a further in-depth meeting if you want to sign up for that as well. Just posted it in chat, and I'm going to put the link right underneath of it. There you go. Cool. So what are we? What's Esports Ohio? If you don't already know, we're a free-to-join nonprofit scholastic and competitive esports organization. We do not charge any fees, unlike some of the big boys. PlayVersus, HSCL, National Leagues, they are for-profit. They're trying to make money off of students playing video games. We are trying to embrace students playing video games to make them better individuals and human beings. So we are a nonprofit organization that was founded by teachers for students. Everyone on our board is in education, or they're a member of the organization, or they're in an esports related career or industry. So we are truly grassroots. We started just the same way that OHSAA started, by a group of passionate people that wanted to legitimize the awesome opportunities that are going on. And we embrace those competitive video games as that positive agent for students, because we found out that from last spring, out of 2,600 students that participated competitively, it's the first time they ever did so in a competitive sport. So we have a lot of folks who have never, developed any of these teamwork, collaboration, communication, soft skills that are so important in life. And we're giving them that opportunity. So thank you all for being here to give them that opportunity as well. So what do we offer? We offer competition, obviously. We do competition across 8 titles. You'll see each one of those on the website. Nick Rackley will show you all that stuff. So we are one of the largest esports orgs that covers a high school in the nation that we're aware of at the state level. So we do 8 titles, which is busy. It's crazy. We don't recommend that a first-year coach do 8 titles. That would be insane. Unless you have 8 coaches, then you could probably pull that off. Maybe if you had 4 coaches, 2 coaches, or 2 games a coach. But we'll talk about what's a good workload per person, what you can pull off in your program. And then we also offer education and curricular resources. We have a full curriculum in esports that you could implement if you're looking to do this scholastically or as part of the curriculum. We also provide tons of getting started resources we'll talk about tonight, as well as that helpful, engaging community that we talked about in Discord, and some of the coaches that are here, some of the collegiate presence that you'll learn tonight. We've got some guests that we'll introduce here in a little bit. And then local connections to those universities. So every area of the state, there is a university that offers competitive esports and academic esports at the collegiate level near your area. Ohio is one of the largest states in the nation with esports collegiate opportunities. We've got some of the best teams in the country right here. So we're pretty blessed. We also love our student recognition, and we deserve, or they deserve, to get that recognition, and we make sure that that's a point. We do academic and competitive. We have an all-state honors academic program that has stringent requirements that our students must meet, and we celebrate them on our website. And we also have competitive recognition on our best players get invited to play in collegiate combines and get recruited at the next level for scholarship dollars, as well as academic dollars for shoutcasting, broadcasting, social media marketing, so on and so forth, design, multimedia. There are so many facets of esports that go uh, into that academic realm that it's pretty awesome. So, student program prizing we have, as well as scholarship opportunities. 2 weekends ago, we just ran a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament for Rhodes State College, and we awarded a full ride scholarship to the new esports management and coaching certificate program that they're offering at that university. It was an awesome opportunity, and tomorrow or Friday this week, we're going to present a full ride scholarship to that student for participating. It was awesome. Student program prizing, all of our competitors win trophies and some ESO or Esports Ohio swag, and we do a lot other things. So, starting with competition, what does that look like? We do 2 spring leagues, or 2 leagues a year, one in the spring, one in fall. We align to OHSAA's calendar. So each one of those leagues runs 8 weeks, and they are geographic based and conference based. So it'll depend on your skill level and where you're at in the state that we will pair you up with another bracket of teams to create that conference. And then you will play each week, 1 day a week for the entirety of that season. Each one of our games, each one of our 8 titles that we play will be on a different day of the week. Obviously, there are more titles and days of the week, so we do some stacking. So we'll talk about how to set your program up for success to make sure that you can compete. You have enough equipment to do so. We offer postseason tournaments at the end of those regular seasons, and we also offer state championships. So state championships before COVID were awesome because they were in person, and we got to travel some of the best teams in the state to meet head to head, meet each other, and it was fantastic. So we're hoping we can get back to that again. We have plans to do that this spring at the University of Akron, God willing that things get a little bit better. So we're super excited about that opportunity to bring to students. We also do extra credit tournaments, which are weekends, combines, where we partner with collegiate programs such as Rhodes State or the University of Akron, or many of the universities that we just did in the Rocket League combine with EFUs in Akron. It was a fantastic opportunity for some of our kids. And we also do regional and national opportunities. Most recently, because the Ohio State Michigan game was canceled, we decided to have an Ohio State Michigan Overwatch championship, where our state championship high school team played Michigan State championship high school team. And of course, the good guys won. Ohio walked away with the championship. So we'll be doing this again here coming up in a few weeks, where Shaker Heights is the high school near Cleveland. They will be competing in a regional Great Lakes kind of tournament against other state champions from across the Midwest. So it's going to be cool to watch that. And we're always looking to create opportunities for kids to get exposure that way as well. And we also do summer and off-season opportunities for play. And like I was talking about, those collegiate combines. So that's our competitive scene. Our scholastic scene is pretty in-depth as well. Recently, earlier this year or last year, we partnered with NASIF, which is a national organization, or the North American Scholastic Esports Federation, out of UC Irvine in California. And we are their Ohio affiliate. We work together with them and the Past Foundation out of Columbus. If you're familiar with them, they're a STEM organization. And we have aligned a full ELA curriculum with an esports flavor, 9 through 12. So if you're looking to implement a full ODE aligned standards curriculum in English language arts, we have that, which is crazy. So if anybody has anybody that's looking to do this academically, we have a curriculum for that. We also have a full library of curriculum from the NASIF Scholastic Fellows. I am one of those this year that's working to develop a technology education elective, 9 through 12, that will be aligned to Ohio State standards right in esports. So that'll be ready by the end of this year. And we are also developing and working together with the New Jersey affiliate to roll out a new social emotional learning curriculum for after school clubs and for co-curricular clubs, if that's what you want to do. It's completely aligned to the ODE standards again for social emotional learning, which we know is very important during this virtual time. We also offer beyond the game challenges, which are like logo design, broadcasting, that social media marketing, creating shoutcasting opportunities for students. Our students call all of our championship regional games along with our adults. So we showcase our highlights of our students in the high school who have those broadcasting abilities, and we get them ready to go, and they actually pull off our tournament runs with us. So we are definitely student driven. And we also offer internships for high school students as well as collegiate partnerships. We'll be talking about how we're going to run some of our League of Legends tournaments through universities this year. So I've been talking a lot. So I'm going to kick it off to Nick Rackley here in a second, where he will be able to share with you the keys to being successful this season and making sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. And I'm going to have to enable screen sharing for him. But we have a couple people that are here today. I will introduce you, and then you can go ahead and just turn your mic off and let everyone know who you are today. Rackley, I'll introduce you last. Once again, I'm Nick Ryder, the founder and president of Esports Ohio, and I've been leading this charge for about 2.5 years. But there's no way I could have done what we're doing now without the help of all 8 people that are involved now. And we've got a couple that are here tonight. Darren, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Darren, thank you for taking on this new committee role this year. And just go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know what you can help with.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I really am. My name is Darren Posek. I am a digital arts and media teacher at Bedford High School, and we started our esports program right around the time Esports Ohio got going. And we were really excited when we saw this initiative get going. And so I've been fortunate enough to be part of this. And then I was also fortunate enough to gain entry to Esports Ohio at the committee level. And I guess the best way to describe it is I'm sort of a welcoming committee. I'm a guy you can bounce your questions off of if you needs be, get started. If you are aware of any other teams that want to get started, I'm kind of a guy that's been up and down those roads a few times now, and I feel like I'm in a unique position to help.
Thank you very much, Darren. We're super lucky to have you. Appreciate it.
I'll put my phone number in the chat, and honestly, guys, it's an honor to be here, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah,
no problem.
feel free to reach out to Darren via email or on Discord. Make sure you get in that server, and we'll show you how to do that here in a little bit too.
Yep.
Up next is our good buddy Chris McClellan from East Canton, and he is doing something that several people have asked countless times. Chris, why don't you talk about that if you're here?
How you doing? I'm Chris McClellan. I'm from East Canton, Ohio. I teach 4th and 5th grade ELA, and I've been given an excellent opportunity to begin the middle school program for Esports Ohio. It's a very daunting task, but I think that we will have a great opportunity for our kids at the younger level. That'll be between the ages of 9 and 12. We're going to be piloting 2 games this year, Smash Brothers and Rocket League. The dates and times are still being ironed out a little bit, but on Discord, I'll have everything posted by the end of the week. And if you have a school or kids that are interested, or anybody that's interested in coaching for your school, please just email me and I can gladly answer any questions you have. And we'll have a coaches meeting here very shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. That is awesome. So if you have a middle school or know of a middle school around you, 9 through 12, get them started. We'll have a nice feeder program for our next gentleman that I'll introduce here in just a second. We partner with lots of universities throughout the state, but one of our best friends, is the University of Akron. They have such a tremendous program, and I won't speak for Sean. I'll let him talk about it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Mitchison, the new head coach at the University of Akron. Don't worry, Nate Meeker is still there. He's just the director now. The main reason I'm here is because I'm extremely new to Ohio. I just moved here from Western Kentucky. I wanted to let everyone know that I'm here and available for contact if you have any questions about anything, or if any parents have any questions for your high school seniors that are going into college. About Akron or just in general. So that's kind of why I'm here. Thanks for having me this evening.
Thanks for being here, Sean. I appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, our league manager, Nick Rackley. I will give him the reins after this and screen sharing ability. And yeah, Nick, he is the guy behind the scenes that makes everything happen. So
good evening, everybody, and it's great to be here. Nick, thank you very much. It's awesome. We're getting on the cusp of our new spring season. We've had a lot of awesome opportunities. It's just amazing how much we've grown. Darren has been awesome. What a great guy. I mean, he's been with us since the beginning. I was so glad that he offered to take the option to be on our committee. And again, he knows his stuff. We've discussed many things, and he's brilliant. So, Chris McClellan, we've been working on the pilot for quite a bit here. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So our main thing here to keep in mind tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is that what I would like to talk about is we are now we're interested. We have a group of kids. We just want to know, how do we get them signed up? How do we make sure this thing all flows the way it's supposed to? Where do I go for help? And how do I navigate everything? If you are still on the fence of, are we going to have a season, or are we not going to have a season, this is still going to be extremely important, and it's definitely something to keep in mind. But please make sure that you don't feel completely overwhelmed. We'll help you all the way through. Again, Darren, fantastic. Be happy to help you. Chris will help you. So just hang with us here. So again, one of the great opportunities we have here at Esports Ohio was the fact that we got to start building it from the ground up. And like Nick Ryder said, we started little over 2.5 years ago. Here is our website at esportsohio.org. We run the 8 titles, like we said. But what I'm about to go over right now is basically, I have my group of people. I know where we're going. Now, how do I start converting that into, we have a roster, we have, we're ready to be scheduled, we're ready to compete for those finals and everything like that. If you have any questions, please drop them right below in the chat. We will get to them at some Q&A at the end. And as always, feel free to reach out to me or Darren or any of our veteran coaches. If you can get into our Discord, which is right here, we have a coaches only channel, and our coaches are the best. I mean, they are literally the best people. We could not do it without them. They love doing this for kids, and they love helping us out. So when you go to esportsohio.org, you end up right here on our awesome webpage with our awesome map. Here are pretty much all of the schools all jumbled together here, where we have established programs that have competed with us, and it's awesome to see. But let's say we're ready to get started. So we're going to go to the Get Started tab. Okay. We have kind of an intro video here. We have the Getting Started presentation, the complete guide here, all of these kinds of things. So again, if you're looking at, where do we go? How do we identify? We have a very easy step-by-step process of where to go. The first thing I would recommend before you do absolutely anything is to make sure that you do join our Discord. Discord is what we do with everything. We don't mind emails, we don't mind anything like that, but like everything else, we kind of compartmentalize, and this is where all of everything happens. This is where you can DM me, you can DM Darren, you can get a hold of anybody you need to, and we kind of keep things separate so we know what we're going to talk about. This is also what kids will use to schedule matches. This is how we'll announce scholarships. This is how college coaches can recruit. I mean, it's a great platform for that. So we've joined the Discord, and now we're going to go over here to additional resources. So additional resources. So Esports Ohio resources. You could also just click the tab up here at the top. We have the coaches packet. We have the getting started. Okay. We have multiple videos on all the different titles that we have, except for our latest 3. We have how to use Discord, how to use OBS, multiple different videos there that can give you something quick and easy to review. Most are under 10 minutes. So you can take a look at that. We have our parent resources here, our curriculum resources, like Nick said. But let's start here. So we're going to get started. So again, we're assuming a couple of things. One, you have done the interest survey. You have parent-student participation contracts drawn up. You have them ready to go. You're about to take your new advisor checklist, and we are going to move on to the coaches packet. Okay, so first things first, welcome to Esports Ohio. We're glad to have you here. This is how everything is going to get started. And again, Nick Ryder here, our president and fearless leader, explains pretty much everything that we do. We update this every season, so definitely a good way to just get started, figure out, if there's any major changes. So we've talked about explaining esports. We've talked about getting that started presentation. So one of the big things that we do want to make sure that you're doing is that you are getting a parent involvement as well as school commitment. So the first thing I would do after you have generated interest, after you have figured out, okay, I do have a group of kids, they do want to do this, I would get them to take a look at this contract and make sure that their parents are okay with competing. There's a lot of stigma that goes around video games, and again, the one thing we don't want to have you or anybody in your school is to feel like some parent or some other person may or may not feel that this is inappropriate or whatever the case may be. Nick is already updating all of our stuff here, so we will have that updated soon. So make sure to have that. Eligibility. We are teachers first. We are academics all the time. This is simply one way you might do it, but we do want to see kids graduate. We want to see kids do well in school. That is the point. There have been numerous studies done that as long as kids are actively engaged in school and extracurriculars, they tend to do better. They make friends. They're able to have those friend groups and that social interaction, which we're severely lacking here due to COVID. So this is just one possibility of something that we use. I use this with my own team. I make sure to go around and talk to their teachers. I make sure that, they're not, this is supposed to be something that motivates kids to want to do well. So I would make sure that they're eligible. I would make sure that they either fill this out or you check their report card. And then I would make sure, your meetings here. So there's going to be multiple meetings here. Okay. So hold fast here. So there's a couple of things here. Make sure that when you've already done the survey, you've sent this out to your kids, you know that there's interest. Make sure that when you set up a time for a team meeting, that these kids are going to be there. One of the biggest things that we tend to see, especially with these kids that have never participated in anything, they've never really found something they want to go to all the time, they tend to be a little flaky. They don't really put a lot of interest in it at first. And this is where especially you want to make sure that these kids are solid. They're going to show up to practice. They're going to show up for their times, because a lot of us are not paid. A lot of us are volunteering to do these kinds of things, and it's great. And that's what teachers do. I mean, teachers, the amount of time we volunteer is just astronomical, and we do it for the kids. It's completely important. But we want to make sure that these kids understand this is a big deal. We want them to be there. So make sure that you schedule a time that you're going to talk about specifically what you're going to look at. So at the conclusion of the meeting, make sure that all these players know there is a requirement that they have to have certain grades. Make sure that the titles that you will be having. Make sure that you know that this is a commitment and that there might be penalties should your team fail to finish the season. Because there is just absolutely nothing worse. You get your kids all geared up, they're ready to play, and the team that you're supposed to play calls over and is like, oh, actually we forfeit, we're done. I mean, it's just, you get them so psyched up and they're so ready to play. And then it's just, oh man, we're all done. We do extremely well with that in Esports Ohio. We tend to have less than 30% forfeitures. I mean, that seems pretty high. But one of the biggest reasons that I was talking with Nick Ryder about when we started doing this thing was, playing in some of the national esports scenes, we would be here and we would be playing a team in California and they don't want to play until 4 o'clock their time. So that's like 7 o'clock our time. And then we get them all geared up. I got them in here. I haven't been home. I haven't seen my wife. And all of a sudden we forfeit. Oh my gosh, just not okay. And so make sure that, kids do really understand that you're going to ask them to be there, that you're going to ask them to do things and give them responsibility. And that this is something that is hopefully going to generate that social and emotional learning that we were talking about earlier as well. So how do we recruit? That's how we recruit. So playing times and match procedures. Okay. All of our stuff begins at 4 p.m. All of it begins at 4 p.m. So again, you might have 30 kids that are really excited. They want to come do this. You got to make sure what you can do. What is available to you? If you have a lab, great. Do you have an IT guy? Will your lab run the games? Like there's some other stuff that you should be making sure that you're checking first. But the biggest thing is don't overwork yourself. You definitely don't want to sit there and say, oh, we're going to play everything and we're going to have 4 teams here and all this other kind of stuff because we don't want to leave anybody out and all that stuff. And that's great. And again, maybe you can get an assistant coach or something like that. And that's awesome. But the other big thing is, like there is a lot of structure here. And when kids learn it, they got it. They know it. Like stats and stuff, they can pull off the top of their heads, the rules, how to communicate and all that stuff. A lot of my veterans now, they can do that just with like a drop of a hat. But the big thing to keep in mind too is that everything begins at 4 o'clock. We do have schools that get out at around 2:30, 3 o'clock. We do have people that get out at about 3:30, 3:45. So, I mean, it's kind of hard. We thought about moving it back. We thought about doing all these things. But again, we do not want to interfere in the school day. We are teachers. We are here for education. We want to have this great opportunity. But everything begins at 4 o'clock. So if you're going to have a varsity version of Overwatch, these are your best Overwatch players, and you're going to have a club version, both of those sets of players need to play at 4 o'clock, which means if Overwatch has 6 spots, you need to have 6 machines for varsity, and you'll need 6 machines for club. All right. Again, if you're going to play Fortnite, if you're going to play Smash Bros, those can be played on multiple different devices. So maybe you have kids playing on a phone, maybe you have kids playing on 1 switch, 2 switch, or 3 switches. Whatever the case may be, everything starts at 4 o'clock, and we run them concurrently. Some of our matches can go very long. When we did the beta finals for fall, my team probably set a ESO record that will not be beat. They played 3 matches, and it was 3 hours and 45 minutes long. It can get exceptionally long. So looking at match procedures, again, make sure you identify your opponent, how to contact them on Discord. We're going to go over that. We're going to talk about captains and coaches. You need to have captains for every team. Again, we're trying to foster these kids into taking responsibility for their team. Just like on football or basketball or anything, the captains have roles. They need to go take the coin toss. They need to do our captains do map bans. Our captains contact the other team. Our captains have a responsibility not just to their team, but also in facilitating, some of this off of the coach, because a coach may have 3 or 4 teams and they need to be able to shovel off some responsibility a little bit to do that. We'll talk about recording scores later as well, but this is how we get started. So let's take a look at our timeline here. So spring season timeline. 2020 fall, this was our timeline right here. What I want to make sure that we do understand, if you've got a lot of people, like I come from a very small high school here. We have a graduating class of like 83, but I know other schools have massive, massive classes. If you can field it, I mean, if you have kids that are all about Overwatch, you could have a varsity and a junior varsity and 2 club teams. So that is 4 times 6 players. That's 24 players that could all be playing the same game the same day. It doesn't have to be that way, but I mean, you can really fill your ranks pretty quickly. So we allow 1 varsity or premier team for each game. We allow junior varsity or reserve team for each game, and then 2 club teams. So again, if your kids know what they're doing and they've been in it and they want to go for, the big prizes at the end, that's what our varsity is for. That's what we do for varsity. Our junior varsity, we still hold tournaments for our junior varsity. They're online. We don't play them in person. And again, we still name a state champion for that. But again, that is hopefully to start feeding into your varsity so you can start building out, a couple years ahead of time and keep that program going. But also, we know that there are a lot of coaches out there that just, I got a couple of kids and I want to run a club and, I want to give them some kind of thing to really look forward to. That's where our club teams come in. Our club teams are literally just, I have a club team this year for Smash Brothers and I have a club team for Rocket League. They come in on Thursday and Wednesday and they just play Smash. That's all they do. Or they play Rocket League. Do we have finals and a tournament for them at the end? Yes, we do, but it's very, very low stress and it's just kind of dip their toes in the water and maybe you generate that interest and people are, oh man, it was so awesome and we beat this other team and it was so great and then we got to go and we got to compete for like a state title and everything like that. And yeah, maybe it's not like the big one, maybe it's not the varsity, maybe it's not going to Akron or wherever we're hosting our tournament that year, but they get to sit there and say, hey, at our level we were state champions or we made it there. And that right there can start building that program for you that hopefully then moves on into other great opportunities for your kids. Because COVID is still a factor and some of us are not in class. I currently am in my classroom right now. One, because my Wi-Fi in my very small village is not very good. But the other thing is our school has been in person the entire time. We do have remote play guidelines in effect for this season. So maybe you don't have kids that can meet at your school, but they do have a good Wi-Fi connection. They do have a computer that can play or a Switch or whatever the case may be. We did detail out some rules for that. Should this ever decide to go away, we will start probably pulling that back a little bit, except for in cases of maybe an online school, homeschool, STEM school, or something like that. But again, we're still in development stage with that as well. Again, all games need to begin at 4. If you're going to remove or like maybe you can't play that day, you have kids missing or whatever the case may be, you need to make sure you give 24 hours notice. It's just again, we really harp on that a lot. A lot of coaches put in a lot of time, and again, there's nothing worse than a coach to get your kids. You're all psyched up, you're ready to play, and you can't play. So please, please, please make sure that you're blocking this out as much as possible. We will have your schedule out before the end of preseason. I have another great guy that's out at Mohawk High School. Him and I, we hammer out a schedule real quick. When we talk about the middle school pilot here, we're going to hammer that schedule out real quick. You will know what you're going to do. So when we're talking about the spring schedule, registration's already open. We already have people signing up. They're already there, and I'll show you that here in a second. We do have a mandatory coaches meeting. This is when we talk about new things that we're doing. League of Legends this year, we've got to talk a little bit differently about. We just got a great opportunity from High Res Studios. They're going to give all of our players who want to play Smite, so any players at all. So some of you are new coaches. If you have no idea where you want to start, if you were to play Smite, we can get you almost $200 in extras in game just to play that title. It's awesome. Your kids get this awesome pack where they get all the heroes and they get the skins. It's cross-platform, so they can play it on their Xbox, their PlayStation 5, their Nintendo. They can play it on a PC, and they get to keep it. Regardless of if you win or not, they get to keep it. And then when we play our tournament at the end of the year, we're going to hand out even more prizes in game. Whereas our first place winners will probably take home something around $1,000 in in-game currency and things like that. So we are really working hard to generate that for you. Make sure to just understand that our registration is open now, and we do have a registration deadline. Registration deadline has to happen. So by the end of February, so we're getting close to February 1st, it has to happen simply because we need to put a schedule together and we need time to put that schedule together. And it's just, we have teams that don't fully fill out all the stuff. They don't have paperwork. They don't have all this stuff. So we need to make sure we've got about a week ahead of time so we can crank that out. So then people know who they're playing and then, who they need to schedule if there's a non-conference match and all of those kinds of things. We will play a 7-week season. So we have a preseason thing. We play that 7 weeks. So you'll play one person every week. If you need to make up, you can schedule that with a different coach, but we also have a makeup week at the end. So say like, okay, I can only play on Tuesdays, and that's the only day I can play. Your makeup week would be April 26th, and so you can play that on a makeup week. This is also when we start playing some of our other online tournaments for JV and club. This year, hopefully, COVID willing, we're going to have our spring finals at Akron, which will be awesome, but we're still waiting on details for that. So with that in mind, this is how we know where we're going to be. My kids know right away what I expect. If we're going to be playing in this, if they're going to be playing any game, any title, I own them for these days. I own them. So I have Overwatch. Overwatch is on Tuesdays. I have 2 Overwatch teams. So every Tuesday in week, from week 3-1 to week 419, they are in and playing on Tuesday afternoons. If they are not able to do that, I'll allow them to sub. I'll allow them to still come to practice and all those kinds of things. But I can't negotiate it, which also kind of brings me to one other point. Please make sure this is a priority. We don't mind working around certain schedules. I have a couple of kids that are in band and they can't get to my room until 4:10 for Smash Bros. So they're going to play at the bottom of the list. And if they don't show up, their particular format allows them to forfeit those matches. And I've explained this to them that I have subs and I will sub in subs before I forfeit, but they need to be here. And again, please don't try and make sure that you're passing. Oh, I have 2 kids in track and I have 2 kids. Okay, we understand that, but we also have coaches that have kids that this is all they do and they're ready to go. And again, we want to emphasize very strictly, like we're ready to go at 4 o'clock. We really want you to be flexible with other programs. We really want you to kind of give and take a little bit, but at the same time, you know, the time to play is the time to play. And again, we don't have to deal with buses. We don't have to deal with making sure that we can make it to a certain thing. All we got to make sure is that the kids are actually wherever they need to be and logged in. So to ask them to be ready by 4 o'clock is not a huge ask. So please make sure that you are really emphasizing that they need to be there by 4 o'clock. So again, eligibility checklist. I love this thing. Me and Ryder have come up with this. I would highly recommend that you print this out. I print this out, and I'm the one that put all this together. Ryder and I were having a great discussion this morning. We were talking about stuff, and then we were like, "Oh, we forgot about that." And again, it's just like brain fog, and we just can't do it. So make sure that you do submit the program application. This is our program application. Okay, this is our legal documentation that we need from you to compete. If you submit one of these in the fall, you don't have to submit one for the spring. It is good for a year, but we need you to fill this out. It is a big thing for us, for our 501c3 status. It needs to come in. So get that signed, and then you'll go over here and it'll open up. Here's our form, and you'll fill all this out, and then you'll attach the file that you've scanned in, and it comes back to us. Some people are like, well, how do I get it in there? How do I do that? Can I scan it at the thing? Can I do it? You can. The easiest way to do it, grab your phone. It's all signed. Everything's correct. Make sure everything's in focus. Snap it, put it in Drive, or get it on your computer through an email, and then upload through the form here. Again, it needs to be in. If it's not, we will not allow you to participate. We do double check all that stuff. It's a big, big thing. One of the other things we just added this season is to get certified as a coach. We have a coach's handbook. It's right here. Again, we've been going through it just as we have this whole night. There's tons of stuff there. But again, please make sure to look over that. Please make sure to look over our rules. We have tons of rules. They're all here. We're not asking you to be 100% on these rules, because even I'm not 100% on those rules. But please make sure that you are printing them out and have them handy so you can go through them and read them and all of those things. Again, please talk to any of our coaches. Talk to our welcome committee. They will help and walk you through that. We have specific areas in our Discord where you're like, I don't understand this about Overwatch. There you go. We have different committees for each game. All of our committees. If you want to know who's on our committees, it's all right here. So our sign up here, there's Darren, looking great. Again, fantastic guy. We have his Discord right here. You can DM him right away. It's amazing. He helps us in everything that we do. We're still trying to fill out our committees a little bit more, but another great guy that's really been helping me out here. He's from New Knoxville. It's Coach Kanan. He's really helped us out there. It's been awesome. Another one that we have for, let's say, Smash Bros. Again, Coach Post from Elder High School down near Cincinnati. These guys know these games. They've been playing them for a while. They've been having all this stuff. They will help. I will help. Mr. Ryder will help. I mean, anybody can help. Please, please, please reach out as soon as you can. So to get certified, the biggest thing to keep in mind is there is a test. And with this test, we will give you a certificate for passing all of the certifications to become a coach with us at ESO. You can go back and look through this. You can make sure, and it's an open note test, you can make sure all of these things will work, and we'll show you how this works to our advantage. So make sure to take that test. If you have any questions about that, please let us know. We'll take care of it for you. Now, here comes the very big portion of the night. All right. Registering your teams and registering your players. There is a difference. Some people tend to get confused. It's really not confusing, I promise. There is quite a few steps, but it will all make sense. And a lot of our coaches, once they got it under their belt, they're just boom, 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 boom. They're ready to go. When we're talking about where we're going to go, so where we just clicked right there, we're right here in competition, spring 2021. So that membership application, the thing where we upload and we make sure that, we're covering our legal side for our 501c3, that's where this is. Our season master sheet is right here. We'll talk about that here shortly. But eligibility checklist, also right here. Coaches certification quiz, also right here. Remote play guidelines, again, also here. Submitting a team to compete. So I know right now, because I've been holding practices. So here's my email. And I know, so this is the name of the coach that's going to be contacted for scheduling issues. If you and I are squaring off in whatever game I'm about to put in here, I know it's going to be me. So Nick Rackley. I am also already a part of the Discord, so please make sure that you are. My Discord name is Nick, well, actually, I'm sorry, we changed that. Rackley, and then BHS High School. And then my number is 4563. My match stream, I don't have that on hand, but we do stream matches. I don't use Twitter, sorry. Not a big social media guy. Again, make sure to read these so that you know what we're signing up for. So select my school. If you do not see your school, please notify us immediately. We'll get it taken care of. Bluffton, I want to compete in Overwatch. We have Smite this year, but it's only going to be in club for this spring season. So Overwatch, I know I have a varsity for Overwatch. I'm going to hit next. So I know that I can read this. I know I've read this before, but if you haven't read this, we'll need to fix that link. It will take you to our rules and regs. I hereby state that all the coaches and players and participants have read and agreed to abide by these rules. We have rules for bullying. We have rules for sportsmanship. We have rules for all sorts of that kind of stuff. In general, if you're being a nice person, you got nothing to worry about. Kids tend to get a little aggravated sometimes. We've had some issues where we've had to have kids, just kind of take a break for a little bit. But we do hold you responsible, as well as your kids responsible for your team. Just like any other team that would ever play sports. If a kid, is shoving kids on the basketball court, that can be a technical foul. We do have fouls. We do have rules for that. If you want to know any of the rules here, if you have no idea what the rules are, this will take you to our rules, the specific rules for each game. Like I said, there's some here. And then at the bottom here, we also have all of our other stuff for sportsmanship and stat tracking and things of that nature. So make sure to look over those. I hereby agree that I say that all my staff, all my players, all my participants have read and they do agree to this. We're good to go. Submit. So now I have submitted that there will be an Overwatch team for Bluffton High School at the varsity level for the spring of 2021. So that's how you submit a team to compete. I will probably later also submit another Overwatch team that'll be JV. I will submit another team for my club Smash. I will submit another one for my Rocket League team. I will submit another one for my Valorant team. Okay. And that's a really, really big deal. So just make sure that you're continuously checking how many you're going to do. We've already held practice. I've already gotten all of my paperwork done. I've already gotten all these other different parts done because again, I knew I would have to take care of some other things with ESO. So I did that 2 weeks ago. New coaches walkthrough video. We have a walkthrough video. If you get stuck, we have this all recorded. It's on Twitch. You're welcome to take a look at it. Logos. We have some that have awesome logos. Bedford has a great logo that they created, and that's what they use. I use a logo that was created by one of my kids. That's just absolutely awesome. So I've submitted the team. Now I know I'm going to have Overwatch. Here is a very critical juncture. So please make sure you do this. When you're going to sign up your players for your roster, have them physically in the room. Have the Chromebooks open, the computers on, the iPads on, however they're going to sign up here. Have them physically in the room and walk them through it step by step. You'd be amazed how often kids are like, oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Oh, I did. We're all teachers. We've all seen it happen. The biggest thing, again, is if you do it and you walk them through it, it just saves so much headache, not only for you, but also for us. Again, can they edit it later? Yes, they can. They'll get an email every time they submit a form. They can go back in and they can edit it up until the registration deadline, which is 2/26. So again, what is this going to look like? So if I clicked on Overwatch, here's my Overwatch. So again, I would put in here Rackley N or whatever my student, I'd have my student fill this out. Again, we've had options where people have said, well, why can't the coach just submit the roster? There's a couple of reasons, but one of the big ones for me was always your kids are going to play in this. They can show some responsibility and do this for you. This is also a good way to gauge their commitment. If you can't get kids to sit down for 5 minutes and fill this out with you, odds are they're not going to show up every week for practice, let alone every week to play. So again, you can fill this out for them. Just make sure that you have their email, that you have all that stuff, but it's so easy. I can normally get all of my kids signed up for all 5 of my teams in under 20 minutes because we make sure that we're just going through all the steps, step by step by step by step. So again, I would finish this up. There we go. Name of the school is Bluffton. What level? This would be for my varsity play. If it was for my junior varsity team, I'd make sure that they hit junior varsity. First name, Nick. Last name, Rackley. My Blizzard tag is Oh Lord Rackles. And then there is a number, and my number is 3476. My Discord again is Rackley, and it is BHS High School, and then again it is 3425. What is my year in school? I could say I wish I was a senior. Oh my gosh, how awesome would that be? Maybe a freshman. We'll go sophomore. Sophomore's good. Now let's talk about captains. Captains are exceptionally important. These are the kids that are your leaders. Maybe they're not the best at the game, but these are the kids that are there when you start and they're there when you end. These are the kids that know the game pretty good. They're going to read the rules, they're going to watch the videos, but also they're the ones where you're going to sit there and say, can you make sure you make contact with Elder High School? Can you make sure that you make contact with East Canton High School and make sure that we're scheduled and ready to play today? These are where we're trying to foster some of that responsibility out to these kids. It's not an extreme amount of responsibility. And again, that is what we want to see, is that social and emotional learning from these kids. So I'm going to say for right now, yes, I am. And my graduation year is 2023. 2023-6. I'm a cyborg. I'm going to live forever. Again, please make sure they read this. Please make sure they do agree to all these things and hit agree and submit. So now, all done. They are submitted. So That is what you'll have to do for every player in every game, how they're going to have to submit all these kinds of things. We do get the question all the time. We're brand new. I don't really want to sign up, but I would like my kids to scrim people. Friggin' awesome. That's awesome. Let's do it. All they got to do, get in Discord. We have scrim channels for every game we play. Just have them scrim all season. And if they're like, oh, yeah, this was awesome. This was great. Then you're not out anything. You're not having to stick to that really rigorous schedule yet. And you're really trying to see if these kids really want to do it, or this was just kind of one of those things that they thought they really wanted to do, but not necessarily. You do not need to register anybody just to have them scrim. So make sure to double check that. Again, we have all of our other information here as well. So last thing, and I'm going to try and wrap this up. I'm doing good on time. We want you to make sure that you are very, 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 I'm going to say very one more time, very familiar with the season master sheet. This is where you will come and your players can have access to this to make sure everything is good. Our T's are crossed, our I's are dotted, okay? Right now, this is auto-populating from all of the schools that we have had. Everybody that has submitted anything so far is here. Okay. So right now we have 8 teams from that coach's submission right here. So submit a team to compete. We have 8 Overwatch teams that are varsity. We have 1 that's club and 1 that's junior varsity. That's awesome. We have 26 kids that are registered in varsity. So 8 times 6, 6 times 8 is 48. So I'm missing like 22 kids right now that are not signed up for that. 1 junior varsity. I've got 12 kids in junior varsity right now. So either they have a lot of subs or maybe something else isn't quite right. We'll double check. Club. How many are signed up for club? We have 1 kid signed up on club. What I'm thinking may or may not have happened, kids did not sign up for the right thing. So we'll show you how you fix that, how we see where that is. The same can go for all of our games right here. Now you may be saying, well, I'm not seeing League of Legends. League of Legends is its own thing. Due to community guidelines, we are no longer able to officially sponsor League of Legends within ESO. We will, however, be using local colleges to farm community invites that will be able to facilitate League of Legends play throughout the coming spring season. We will still be using similar rules as they are the community rules, and we will be helping those colleges to fill out a similar practice way of getting kids signed up just as well as what we have here. Again, we have Smite teams, 2 club Smite teams. That's awesome. But again, none of the kids are signed up yet. So again, what this does for us is it kind of sees where we're at. This could also show you like, hey, you know what? There's not a lot of club teams. There's a lot of varsity teams. We will find kids for you to play. But again, this is things that, you know, maybe you want to take into account if you're signing anybody up. So here's all of our awesome stuff here. Now, let's say, for instance, we've signed kids up for Overwatch. Remember, I signed up for Overwatch. That's me right there. My number 1. I'm not green. These numbers right here will be right next to any, and they will auto update. Anybody that's signed up, your kids that have signed up here down in the students only section will come here and it will see what you are doing. Again, if you have not signed up enough players, it will be red and they will not be scheduled. We do get kids. So right here, we have Chillicothe. They've got 4. The minimum number of players you need for Overwatch is 6. We do recommend that you have the minimum number of players plus at least 2 subs. Something always comes up. Things always happen. We're not going to limit you to say, oh, you have to have 2 subs. But I have had a kid that's one of my greatest Overwatch players of all time, and he had a family emergency one day, and it turned out to be pretty bad, and I didn't see him for 2 weeks. If I only had 6 players, I would have had to forfeit both of those weeks, more than likely. Again, we keep scrolling down here, Again, Marymount, I don't know what's going on here, but we're not all on the same page. Maybe they're still signing kids up. I don't know. We'll take a look. And the same can be said. So if we go over here to the blue is Rocket League. So Elder down by Cincinnati, they got 4 people signed up. They're green. They're ready to go. Assuming that their coach has the paperwork in and everything like that, they will be getting scheduled. Elder again over here has 3 for Smash Bros. Okay, you can compete with less than 5 in Smash Bros. Because of our modified roster setting. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but it is in our rules. And the same can be said across all of our different platforms here. So make sure if you're signing them up and you've signed all your kids up to come take a look at the season master, make sure your captain comes and takes a look at the season master. If I'm doing Bluffton and I have a Fortnite team, then I would sit here and go, okay, Bluffton, oh my gosh, like I know I have a varsity Fortnite team, but none of my kids have signed up. This is why it is absolutely crucial that you have a meeting physically in person or over Zoom and you walk them through it. Please, please, please don't let them. Well, I told them to do it. We love kids and they're so good at a lot of things. Remembering and doing things correctly, not always the case. So there's where we look at the signups. There's where we look at the teams. Now, program paperwork. Some of our teams, as you've seen, have already submitted their program form. When you upload your form, you go here and you upload that agreement and you select your team. It will automatically kick over that you have completed this right here. So if you have not uploaded any of that, it is not ready to go, then you will still be not ready to compete. Again, so right now what we're seeing here, I have Ashland. Ashland has turned in their program form. They have completed their coach certification. We have a mandatory coaches meeting that they'll have to fill out yet one more form, and all of their paperwork is correct. They will be done right here on and everything will be ready to go. So make sure if you are submitting stuff. So right now, if I'm looking at Bluffton again, because this is me, I competed in the fall, so I already have my program paperwork done. I just completed the quiz. I will need to go to the coaches meeting, and this will go green. Once everything is green, I'm good. I'm ready to compete. So looking over here, what's going to happen? Worthington Kilboard, what a great, I mean, just a phenomenal program. They joined us last year and it's just awesome. If your kids have enough on the roster and enough everywhere else. So if I am looking at this right now, Worthington Kilbourne, assuming their paperwork is correct. So let's go take a look at Worthington Kilbourne's paperwork here. So Worthington Kilbourne. It's down here. Okay. So come here. I will take a look at that later, but I would assume that his paperwork is correct and I'll double check that soon. But let's take a look. So he's in Overwatch. And we scroll down here to Worthington Kilbourne. So many teams. Oh my goodness. 6 players. He's green. He's green. He's good to go. So then what that's going to do is over here on the roster verification, they're right here. And again, green, good to go. He's got that scheduled. We can look over here at Rocket League right now, and I know that Elder's good and Morgan's good. Worthington Kilbourne, this is kind of an issue. They only have a JV right now, which means that it's not valid. We do not allow a JV team without a varsity. If you would like to compete at a lower level, we then would like you to compete at club or we'd like you to compete at varsity. The reason we do this, not that we're not trying to set different dimensions here, but we will be doing divisions and other things in the future. We do need to help our schedulers to schedule full seasons. So again, we try to make sure that you are put into a smaller batch there as well. So last but not least, coach's contact info. When you sign up a team, so I signed up one for Overwatch, Bluffton, Varsity, here's my Discord. You ever have a question, you need to talk to somebody, boom, they're all right here. Right here, everything for every game. They're all right here. They're all in one place. Everything's good to go there. Again, captains, we've got captains. I would recommend that you have multiple captains per squad. I would say probably 2 in case someone is sick or someone can't make it. Again, our captains are right here. They do get special privileges in our Discord, so make sure to take a look at that as well. Very, very important there. And finally, Bluffton Overwatch, our Overwatch players. Again, our Overwatch players will all be right here. So if you want to start scouting, if you want to see if this is a person that you're going to play, if you need to contact somebody on the opposing team, none of the captains are answering, none of the coaches are answering. This is a way to contact them immediately. Rocket League, good to go. Hearthstone right here, good to go. And again, this is everything we have. So that's how you sign up. When we talk about scheduling, that's all on us, and we'll take care of that schedule, and then we'll push it out, and it will be in another part of our website. Thank you all so much for listening to me ramble. Hopefully, I got it done in a relatively small amount of time, and I kept it interesting and ready to go. But barring any other things that Nick Ryder would like to talk about, we're ready to open it up for questions and talk about anything that we discussed tonight. Thank you for being here and being a part of ESO.
Wow, Nick, fantastic job. Thanks for running through that super quick. I mean, that was awesome. I know that that's a lot to digest as I'm going through from somebody who knows what's going on. That is a lot to get through. So don't be freaked out or overwhelmed.
No.
It is overwhelming. It can freak you out. It's a lot to get down, but you will get it. It just takes a matter of time of getting your kids in the lab, working out the logistics, and going through it one day at a time. So you will get it. It will work out. It's just new. So anything new is always a challenge. So we are here to answer your questions. Put them in chat, unmute your mic, whatever you'd like to do. We'll hang out as long as there's questions.
Absolutely.
I'll go through.
It's Brian J from Ehobe.
Hey, Brian.
Where was the link for that season master? I missed it when you switched that.
That's fine, no problem. So we go to the home. We go to the home button. We go to competition. We go to spring 2021, and it's right here, season master. You could also just copy the link if you'd like. Just copy the link, and then bookmark it. That's another thing people do. So if you want to bookmark it, go right ahead.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
No problem, Coach. Thank you for being a part of this. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks for being there.
Oh, no problem. Please reach out at any time. Again, it's much easier to do it in the early stages than when we're in the 11th hour. Trust me. We love it. Again, we've got lots of great coaches in our Discord. Darren's a great guy. Help you out anytime.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Thanks.
Absolutely, Coach.
Jason asks, we have 3 schools on one Discord, same district. Should we make our own? That would be a coaching decision. I mean,
that is
that's
a total
completely
coaching
up to
decision.
you. If you want to make one, or if you want to collaborate, that is completely up to you.
The one thing that I would say to that, and we have had issues in the past with this, and I say issues, please note, issues does not mean bad things. It's just, it's a learning experience even for us. Like we're like, oh, that never really thought of that. That's a thing that we should have really thought of. We have had multiple schools in the same district using the same name or whatever the case may be. Please use the high school that you are gathered at, the middle school you are gathered at, that you're going to compete under. We've had times where I haven't scheduled people because they're like, oh, well, I thought it was this school, but it actually was this school. I thought it was this school because, again, there are multi-high schools in multiple districts, but maybe, only one high school is actually hosting the esport. Please make sure, and again, that comes with having your kids come in to do a meeting, that you're like, we are competing under the Bluffton, the Cary, the Akron, the Columbus North. This is what you will put into your form, because again, it's just really sad sometimes because we'll sit there and we'll try and reach out. Like when we start scheduling and stuff like that, we'll be like, okay, Carrie, like you only have 5. Like, do we got another one? Do we have another one? Do we schedule you? And we do it all in Discord. We do all of our coaches stuff in Discord. We will try and get that. But again, just to save the headache, just please make sure you're having that team in person and ready to go.
Another question: Can all students play under one Switch account for Super Smash Bros?
Absolutely, they can. Yes, with the Switch, the big thing, especially when we're talking about Super Smash Bros. We play it like tennis or golf. What's going to happen is they're going to, you're going to pick your top 5 kids, and they're going to play 5 sets. And what's going to happen is you're going to go back to back to back to back on that. And so all you need is one switch. I would recommend, like, I have a fairly big Smash team this year, so I have 2 switches so they can do the 1v1. So I can have 4 kids practicing at the same time. The main thing to keep in mind with your Nintendo Switch and your Super Smash Bros. Couple of things. One, you need to have Nintendo Online. It needs to be on there. Whatever account you're competing with needs to have it. 2, you need to make sure if you're competing from school or somewhere that you have tested the heck out of that. It is an absolute pain to get through a firewall. So make sure your IT guy is ready and willing to go. Third is optional, but we do recommend it. We recommend very much that you do buy a USB to Ethernet adapter and you use the internet through a wired connection. We have had options where wireless is fine, but we have tended to see that it is better for the lag time and everything if you are using a wired connection.
So that specifically will help you, Joey, for practices. So that helped answer that question.
Darren, did you have something, boss?
Yeah, it's a question that I've been asked a couple of times by some districts in my area who are considering joining. And it's about the level of a coach's mastery for video games and the games that we play. And I'd like to offer my thoughts on that, if that's okay.
Sure, I'll go right ahead.
The kids are going to be better than you are. This is, and it's so antithetical when you think about it. That the coaches, and even still, like, they're going to know more than you too. And that's that's so different from all the other sports. And it's because it's changing so rapidly. They're the ones who are playing, and as well they should be. But there's so many matches now. Like, I know you guys said you should really have like one coach for maybe 2, and I'm one guy right now.
Right.
So it's, but I don't want to take the opportunity away from the students. Correct. So really, and to say to speak to what you said, where, these kids may not have even ever been in extracurriculars before. That is so true. And they have no idea how to do it. So I found myself almost like a shepherd more than doing coaches. I'm just making sure they are where they are. They know where to find the information. They've got everything set and ready to go. And my captains are the ones who sort of do the strategy and in-game adjustments and coaching. I make suggestions based on what I see. I don't know if they're listening to me. They're like, yeah. We know you don't. So I just want to. I've been trying to alleviate those concerns for some of the coaches I've talked to.
Oh, Darren's
you don't have to be mastering the games.
Absolutely. You do not need to be master at all. Again, just you being there, allowing them to do it, they will run with it. Where I could name a bunch of Cleveland Indians and ERA averages and everything like that, my kids are going through patch notes explaining to me all the different parts of Overwatch. And I'm just like, sure, okay. And I don't really do much in terms of like what Darren was saying with the strategy. I make sure the paperwork is in. I make sure they're good to compete. I make sure that I have a place for them to play. And like Darren said again, like, I make sure that I'm facilitating some basic things like, do the headsets work properly? Are you guys talking to each other? Like, I feel like you're not talking to each other very good. I feel like, like you're yelling at each other a lot, and this is not very constructive. So some basic just teaching things there can really go a long way.
I got a couple more questions coming in. I'll knock out some easy ones. Sure. On the club level, our match is scheduled through you. Yes, Nick Rackley is the man. He does all the scheduling. You will have your entire schedule for the season before the first match begins. Where can I see the recording of this meeting? It will be on YouTube when we're done. We'll upload it to our YouTube channel. We're just Esports_Ohio on YouTube. Let's see what we got next.
While Nick's looking at that, one thing I do want to point out too, with Coach McClellan, we do have a section for our middle schools here. Our dates are still kind of a little variable. So right now, this is what we have. It is subject to change, but we have everything just about right. And it is the exact same format, minus a couple of things that we just went through at the high school level. We have a season master that is specifically geared to middle school only. It does everything that the middle school does. We have forms right here where they'll have to fill it out. The membership application, the week by week, everything right here. We even have our own Discord server for the middle school as well. So Coach McClellan will be point man on that, and he'll be doing all of that. But we do have pretty much all of that ready to go and knocked out. We will have online finals. We will do the full week and everything like that. We will not be doing varsity and JV levels at this time, but we will be allowing every team to have 4 teams in every title. So we want to build this up real big. So again, I know like him over at East Canton, he says he's got a lot of kids and he's going to field 4 Rocket League teams, which sounds like a lot, but it's really only 12 kids, 4 times 3. And then Smash Bros, he's going to field maybe 2 or 3 Smash Bros teams. That's 15 kids. So like, good luck to him. Please let us know if you'd like to be part of this pilot or if you know anybody that'd be part of this pilot. It's right here again under competition and the middle school. It's just like our high school.
I'll keep moving because I see 16 new messages. So
Oh boy.
At some point, I saw info about a Fortnite map. Jeff Carana, our league manager, not a league manager, but our tournament official, he is creating a custom Fortnite map with his students that is ready to drop, and he will have those Fortnite details fine-tuned and posted to the rules section within this week. So they're not up there yet, but they will be.
We tend to try and do whatever the actual esports scene is doing. We started Fortnite literally a year ago. It was our first big title that we added out of our original 4, and we started noticing some issues with it, from streaming to all these other kinds of things. So we're going to more of a box wars format, and again, those kind of like beyond the game challenges. We're probably going to encourage kids to make maps, to submit maps, to do all these kinds of things. We do have a creator code that's pretty cool that we might start, just dropping kids in, and it's only kids from ESO that'll drop down on the map, to maybe ground like a King Poobah of Fortnite. So yeah, talk to Jeff about that.
Cool. It says, Tess, we'll get you squared away. Salina registered as other. We'll get them changed to Salina and make sure that it's in the sheet.
Please do not do other. Please just don't. If you don't see your name, please just message us real quick. It's a 2-second fix. It's just, we do get kids that schedule as other, and then it's just trying to figure out where they're supposed to go is just an absolute mess.
Pam asks, what's the best way to get a large number of students whittled down? That's a great question.
That is a great question. Again, I would do the sign up stuff. See where your commitment is. Are these, so again, like when I first started doing this, I had 20 or 30 kids. Oh yeah, we want to do this. We want to do this. I'm like, okay, well, I have a meeting next Tuesday. Or I'd give them 2 weeks out, or however you think is, because your kids, every teacher does, every coach does. Give them a fair amount of time and say, this is when we're signing up, okay, and this is what we're going to do. So make sure that they're going to make those meetings, like what your expectations are. Like, we're going to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and if you can't be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday by 4 o'clock, I'm sorry, but you can't play. That'll whittle out quite a bit, because you'll have kids like, oh man, this would be fun, but I've got track, or I've got basketball, or I've got band, or I've got this. So again, that's going to wheedle out a little bit. Another big thing to keep in mind is just ask them, like, are you guys just in this for fun? Like, do you just want to have fun? Because like my Valorant team is just in it for fun. They love Valorant, but like Valorant is super technical, and oh my gosh, our state tournament last year was just awesome, and my kids cannot compete in that. So when I said, hey, we're only doing it club, a lot of my heavy Valorant players were like, oh, well, I don't want to play anymore. So again, I don't harbor any ill will against them, but at the same time, I have to do what's best for my program. So again, if you're going to hold practices, when you're going to hold practices, setting that schedule up. Also make sure, are they academically eligible? It's painful to see it. But some kids, especially in this particular subset of kids, may not meet those requirements. So maybe you say, okay, well, you can come to practice, but I can't play you because you're not quite eligible. And then, like, if you can get eligible by fall next year, we can get you on the team. And last but not least, make sure you know what resources you have. If you only have 6 machines, then think about how many times you're going to be able to get those kids on those 6 machines. How much practice are you really going to be able to run? If you're going to run Overwatch or League of Legends, you might get 2 or 3 games in a 2-hour period. So that's not going to lead to a lot of practice time. So if you're trying to say, oh, I'm going to run 3 different teams, but I only have 6 machines, that's not going to work out very well. Kind of the same thing with Smash. Like if you've got 20 Smash kids, but you only have 1 Switch, and we play a format where it's 1v1. I mean, think about it. Trying to get 24 kids through a 1v1, you might be here till 9 o'clock. So make sure you have a very concrete, we have 12 machines we can use. We can use them at this time. We know what kids are eligible. We know, if they are going to be eligible. I'm going to call this meeting. We're going to see if these kids really want to play and really show up. And most often than not, you're going to weed out a lot of the kids that thought it was just something kind of cool, something kind of fun, and not get your real core group of kids. If you get to that point and you're still trying real hard, please go to our coaches only channel in Discord. Worthington Kilbourne is awesome. Our New Knoxville with Overwatch, like all of our coaches have like 5 different theories on how to do it, and they're all great theories. And again, each school is different. But that's how you weed out some smaller thing. Or text me or text Darren or DM Darren, excuse me, or anybody. We'll help you with that.
Jason is having the dreaded firewall switch issue. So, Jason, just make sure that you go to our resources page, and then the last page of the coach's manual has the firewall requirements. Forward those to your IT department right there at the bottom, 7 technical requirements. If you click on that, it tells you all the ports that need open for the switch. So just give that to your IT crew, and if they need help, our A site in Lima, NOACSC, has complete instructions on how to do that. Amanda asked if we want to try Smite, could we just do that as club level? Yes, Smite is only club level this year because every time we introduce a new game, it's just club level for the first year to test it out. So yes, please do.
Yeah, we'd love to have you in Smite. And again, it's a great opportunity for your kids. It's all free, and they walk away with really cool stuff.
The master sheet is no longer password protected. That's a good question.
Correct.
We've removed all personal identification or personal identifier information. The only thing we have is roster information and Discord IDs now. So it is okay to be unlocked.
2 big reasons why we did that. Coach brought up a point that even our cool password thing was relatively easy to hack, so not so good. Second thing was, again, as a coach, if you're trying to get multiple teams, I know for a fact, because I am pretty big into Google, like I saw names and stuff where I'm like, that's a kid, and a kid's in the coaching sheet. That's a big no-no, like not okay. And so when Ryder and I were talking after fall season, I said, the easiest way to do that would be just to remove all that stuff. And by removing all that stuff, now, you can have your captain like, okay, we signed up captain, make sure that all those kids are in there. And then they'll go through and like, oh, Jimmy didn't sign up, or Billy or Sally or whoever didn't sign up. And again, you can start filtering out more of that responsibility to the players. Again, I make my kids do it too. Now that we have the season master, probably come Monday, what I will do is we'll fill it out, and then I'll be like, all right, everybody that's on Overwatch, we're going over to the Overwatch section, and we're going to go to for Rocket League. We'll go to the Rocket League section. Do you see your name? Good. We're good to go. So it's an easy way to double check that.
And then the last question, I think we're caught up, is
awesome.
Do we think Smite will be replacing League of Legends?
At this time, we do not know. What we do know is that we want to have great opportunities for kids. We spoke to High Res Studios, and they said, hey, we have this opportunity. This is one of our best played games. They also have Paladins and Rogue Company and all these other kinds of things. We're still in talks with them about that. The big thing to keep in mind is what we want to do is allow kids to experience a lot of different games. We want them to get really cool opportunities in these games, like Smite coming out and they're like, oh yeah, any kid that wants to play, we'll get them a god pack, we'll get them a skin, we'll do all that stuff. That's awesome. Like even if you've never played this game, you're walking in and you are right on the same level as everybody else. With League of Legends, it's awesome, and we're still going to keep playing it. But again, with any game we're going to put out there, we're going to make sure that there is some major, either it's a title that we don't have, like Hearthstone or something like that. We're talking to other places like EA and all them about sports titles and 2K. But again, we want to make sure that kids can find their niche, and that they're going to get something out of it. Maybe this is the only place that they can play Box Wars with only Ohio kids. Maybe this is that kind of thing. So is it going to replace it? We don't think replacing is the right term, because again, it is a MOBA. And we do have kids that play a lot of League of Legends. League of Legends is our third, well, no, it's our fourth top title out of all of our titles. So no, not at this time. It's not.
All right. Well, and then there was just a few people left, so
Awesome.
take this
Yeah.
time to ask your questions while you
Please
got
do.
us.
Yeah, please do.
And if I forgot or I missed one of your questions, feel free to.
Yeah, please just, yeah, go ahead.
Anybody who plays Smite and signs up for a Smite team gets the God Pack.
Yes. There's one stipulation there. One stipulation. For me specifically, okay, I have all the codes. I have all the things that I will send to you, the coach of the Smite team. You need to make sure that you have, like we said, a full roster. If you register 3 kids, we will not be giving them any of the codes. You need a full team, 5. We'd recommend 7, 6 to 7. But yeah, you sign them up. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the player season master, and I'm going to go over here to, that's Hearthstone. Where's Smite? Where's Smite? Did I miss it again? I probably, oh, there it is. It's hiding behind my thing. I'll go to Smite right here. So Norwalk right now only has 1, but I'll basically go down this list and I'll start looking for the full teams, and I'll go back over to our original there and make sure that you have a full team and make sure you're going to compete and that we're going to do that. And then basically I send you just a Google sheet with all the codes on it, and then you're good to go. And those codes will work for Xbox and PlayStation and Switch and PC and anything. And even if they never play Smite in ESO again, they'll have the God Pack, which any new gods that come out, they get automatically.
Cool.
Cool.
Amanda, Pam, Jason, Brian, Darren, Chris, got anything to add?
Yeah.
I had one more question.
Absolutely.
You had said something about a creator code for Fortnite.
Yep.
Is that something that already exists? Is that something that's going to be coming out when
So
Jeff
here's
does stuff? Or
kind of. So a couple of things on that. So creator codes are given to people when they meet specific criteria. The specific criteria that we met was we had 1,000 followers on Twitter. Basically what that means is whoever has that code can basically have access to a server where they will be able to make an island. And again, it is one of those things, they do not hand it out to everybody, but content creators like Ninja and like all the big Fortnite players, they all have them. You'll see them all the time making maps and doing stuff and tweaking the rule set, maybe fly a little bit more, this explodes a little more, everybody has this, or whatever the case may be. So originally we got the creator code because we were having the issue of how do we stream matches with our kids, because Fortnite, unlike literally every other game on this list, is absolutely terrible to stream outside of being a player specifically in the match. If you are watching, like if you're a player and your kids like to do that and they stream their own stuff, super easy. They set up OBS and they're ready to go. But like when we do any of our YouTube stuff or any of our Twitch stuff, normally what happens is I'll get in with a group of kids, I'll run the camera, they'll do the shoutcasting, and it's real smooth and everything's good. With Fortnite, for whatever reason, we ran into just so many issues where you cannot just drop in and watch only your players, or you have to wait so long to watch your players or anything like that, which is why we changed the format. So in response to the actual code, we do have it as ESO.
I just pasted it in chat.
Yeah.
So if you want that, you can use that. It's also on our Discord underneath our announcements channel. And it will be in our rules. It will be released hopefully by the end of this week.
Right. So that's what we'll be using it for.
Got it. Okay. And you said it's in Discord under announcements?
Should be.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for being with us.
So are you going to be the dominant school then in Dublin? You going to beat everyone else?
You got to compete against Worthington Kilbourne. They're pretty.
I don't
good.
know. I got a couple other coaches in here with me, so we're all getting the same inside scoop. I think one of us
Okay.
left early, but
That's
um,
fine.
might depend on the title. It was interesting. The different schools did not necessarily have the same trends in terms of which games they wanted to play. So we're
It goes.
hoping,
It's so weird.
yeah, we're hoping to kind of support each other in some
Good.
games, and then have some fun district competition too.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. Great idea. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes we change games from season to season when our kids
it's
play. So
it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It just absolutely weirds me out sometimes.
Oh, I just saw Jason's response. I think he said when you asked if we were going to be the dominant school, I think he just said no.
love it. Love
Them's fighting words, sir.
it.
So should be interesting to see how it goes. I'm hoping, when we created that Discord with all three schools, it really did unify the kids in a way I haven't really seen before. So I'm really hoping, that as we go into some league play, some of that camaraderie continues, because that's not something they get very often. So figuring out a way to still have some competition and fun, but also keep some of the community that was kind of formed too. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, if there's nothing else, it was super fun. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Please get back with us if you need anything. Talk to Darren, talk to me, talk to anybody.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Amanda. And
Take care,
Rackley,
guys.
you're amazing.
Yep.
As always.
Sometimes.
We'll talk to you soon. We'll get together some more soon. So.
Awesome.
That
All
sounds
right. Take
great.
care, guys.
Thank
Have a good
you
night,
very
buddy.
much. Appreciate
See
it.
ya.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Take care.
Yep. See ya.